you into the real estate business?
A good question on our sheet. What inspired me to get into the real estate business? Inspiration is probably a good word. Divine providence. I was actually a preacher before I was a real estate agent. And God closed one door and opened the other. I was back in like '04. And that was interesting. No plans to be a real estate agent. Totally planned to plant a church on the beach. But things changed. Doors closed, doors opened, and God led the way. I kind of had a real positive experience selling a house, buying a house, personal house, and I saw my realtor up here who's still in the business, Kelly Sullivan, and she was having a lot of fun while I was coming here to move from South Florida, and looked like she was, meeting with people, making money, and she was very upbeat, and it looked like something that, if I ever need to make a little side money, maybe I'll try that. Pretty soon the economy shifted, and we were in, a very strong seller's market at the moment. And then all of a sudden the merry-go-round stopped, probably pretty much like it has right now. And things were changing. So God put me in real estate at a time that was actually quite difficult to learn. And I was not a local. We transplanted up from South Florida. So that was an interesting experience. But it's all good. I didn't care.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm sure you learned a lot then. So what lead generation method works best for you?
I'm doing a really good job, really. I got early on tied in with some investors who did repeat purchasing. And I became their all-in-one resource for everything they needed when they purchased property. I worked tirelessly for them. They knew it. I had a sharp learning curve at the beginning. I didn't know a whole lot about real estate getting into it. You had to fake it till you made it. And I studied hard, learned fast, and kept my feet on the ground and was very hands-on and communicated with my customers. Whenever they wanted to talk, I was there for them, and so I built a sort of a database of repeat buyers, and saw who was valuable, to invest time in. Made a few mistakes in those selections along the way, you learn, but there were some folks that really were really good to me early on. And so the best lead generation tool for me now is actually repeat clients. I've used all kinds of tools. I'm the one guy that probably doesn't do it the Keller Williams way, and maybe the most highly succeeding agent that doesn't do it the Keller Williams way. I'm not methodical. I don't come in at 7 in the morning and punch a clock and do prospecting work of expireds and for sale by owners. I hate that kind of work. It's not that I never do it. I do. I make myself do that sometimes. But my work is always, my business has always come from other venues, not in that traditional way. That way absolutely works. But it's just not my thing. So I've learned the business in a very personalized way to where I have a life that's worth living and a job that I love to go to. It's a business. So.
I love that. So why Keller Williams?
Keller Williams, I read the Red Book, I got spoiled. I was at the top brokerage at the time, which was Prudential, in the same building I'm in now. And some folks, I don't know if any are here right now, but some folks worked with me back then and there. Your mama, and others. So I saw in the Red Book, the mission and the plan, and I knew that if you applied yourself to that, which I never did consistently, but that plan would absolutely work. And then I really liked the profit share idea. I love the idea of capping. I love the philosophy of your listings, your leads, and all those attributes attracted me. And then of course, meeting with Gene. Gene is absolutely brilliant. He blew my socks off the first time I ever heard him teach. I still don't think I've ever met anyone smarter in the detail and in the business of real estate. I should have listened to a lot more of his advice early on and implemented it. he's just a wealth of knowledge. And then, you know, Gary Keller's pretty cool too. And going to family reunions early on and getting involved was a real positive experience. So it served well for us. And, you know, when I first got into Keller Williams, my wife was working with me in the business. I've always been either just a husband and wife team, and that was really that way for my first 5 years of production. And then we started hiring an admin and a buyer's agent. We've done well enough to where my wife can step aside and not be in active production anymore. I am, and I partnered up in the last few years with Cindy Shoemaker, someone I've known in the business for, you know, a good 12, 15 years. And that's working out well. My wife's still involved, but she doesn't do daily production anymore. So that's worked out well. God has blessed our socks off financially. We worked hard for what we've earned. But you know, I know that a difficult time is coming in the market, but I am personally not worried about it because I've not spent as I went. I invested, and I'm good. So I'm in a position now to thrive in the shifting market, and I plan to do that at least for one more run, another 5 years.
Love that. And speaking of that, and I know, you know, part of your background in knowing REO and foreclosures and other things, how have you educated yourself to get to here?
Well, I had to shift myself. Actually, most folks get into real estate when things are going very well in an ascending market. It's easy to sell in an ascending market. All you need to do is get the listing. Listings are fewer and further between, but once you get one, you hang it, it's gone. So I cut my teeth in the other market, in the market we're about to go in, where there's a lot of inventory and very few buyers. We're not there yet by any means, but we could be heading in that direction. So, you know, when we came out of that down market, which I had to learn the down market, but actually coming out of the down market for me was actually more difficult because I was used to having 50 to 80 listings at all times from institutions in the REO world and in the short sale world. And I got used to working those difficult sales, working with difficult customers. And then when the light shined on us as a market, we began to rise probably around 2013, and we've been heading straight up ever since. What, 2%, 3% interest rates? That historically is so unique, and it wasn't part of my early real estate experience, but it has been probably most of your whole experience. And interest rates in the 6s and 7s are kind of normal historically. So, you know, it's gonna slow down, and we're going to experience a different market. It's gonna slow down in one sense. Prices aren't gonna go up, but it's gonna actually get busier because there's gonna be more cookies in the cookie jar. And I never figured out why. Everybody got into real estate when in an ascending market where there's always fewer cookies in the cookie jar. You got, you know, what, 3,000 agents now and how many listings? Well, probably in about a year, you'll be down to 2,000 agents and there'll be double the amount of listings. What does that mean for you if you hang in there? That's actually a good thing. I don't mind selling stuff a little bit cheaper when I'm selling 3 or 4 instead of 1. I think you make a little more money. You do work a little harder, but you have a little bit more security in that. And it'll be a great time to personally invest too. And you know, I definitely agree with Gene, and sort of a pattern buying all the time, but I think if you got an opportunity to start in a correcting market, you're setting yourself up for real success. You know, buy low.